Hello, everybody. Today I have a request, and my good friend and owner of ScalledWorld.net had asked if I could take some time and
Go to the bathroom.
go and take some time to show you guys how to do the flocking. He said he was interested in seeing the steps to do in flocking. What I have in front of me right now is, let me see, hold on guys. I'm trying to get myself set up here. I was running a little bit behind today. Let me see. Alright, I got myself set up. Alright, I'm going to pull up my tablet so that way I can see if there's questions or anything. Alright guys, here's what flocking is. Flocking is a small fiber. It's fiber based. Some people are making it out of wood shavings, but this right here is cloth. You can see, I sticked it on my finger there. The way I apply it is I use two glues, depending upon what you prefer. You could just use a regular white school glue. There's also glues that you can buy at Walmart that are like this. Basically, this right here is a white glue also, a little bit more sticky than what regular was, and this right here is a clear glue. This glue here is usually what I use to hold my headlights and stuff on, so, and then, or you could just use this glue right here. Then what I do is I have a medicine cup. I don't see it now. You could use a strainer if you wanted to. Dr. Cranky and some of those guys have a tea bag strainer. It's a clip. It looks like this, but it's smaller. It clips open, shuts down. They also use to wash their parts. I have several different colors. You guys can, see these are all the different colors I have for different builds. Will I ever probably use this bright purple? Probably, I don't know, maybe a lowrider build or an old custom build. And I have just different reds, because you never know, what tone of red that you want to use. Some oranges, some different reds. You can see there's some gray fiber in there, just depending upon the different colors. And the process I go about when I use the flocking is I use glue, like I showed you. I use the glue, and what I usually do is paint my interior. I'm going to pull apart I'm gonna pull apart a built-up. This right here is a built-up that I picked up last year. So what I'm going to do right now is, I plan on redoing this one anyway. Alright. So basically, most car builds are going to be like this. You get your seats, and then, you get your sidewalls and whatnot. This right here has a pistol grip shifter here in the way. So I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to put this here to the side, put it back in its parts bag. I should have been a little bit more prepared. I didn't know what I was going to do today, and I would talk to Scaled World of Pedro Morales. He's in the chat now, and he suggested this is something he wanted a look at. He is at this time building a few cars, and he's stepping up his detail game. Unlike most of these, I shouldn't say unlike most other people, Pedro, the owner operator of scaledworld.net, you guys can sub to his channel. Just go over his icon and then go sub his channel. He does so much for the hobby and promoting the hobby, but he himself is he'll tell you he's a beginning builder. He wants to say that he's not very into the hobby, but the work and stuff that he does for us at Scaled World, he is a great big part of this hobby, and that's why I wanted to do this how-to for him. I get really encouraged and excited when a builder comes to me and he asks if I could show him something specific. You guys know what I mean. And so that way it would help him learn and do better. Jay, also go to scaledworld.net and you guys can see builds that I've done from start to finish. You can see other builds done from people across the community. Inside of our chat right now, you have Hinterland Custom. There's some of his work on there. My work is on there. There's some really nice builds and stuff over there on Scaled World, from all genres of the hobby, from the novelists all the way to people like me that are here to share and help you guys learn. Now, I'm going to get rid of this transmission. Now, if this was my actual, well, heck, that went off a lot faster than I thought it would. If this was my actual build right now, what you do is you paint. This is for me. You paint your interior tub the color that you want, and then you pick a flocking that you want to go closer to it. Like, you know, I have some different grays. Let's see. Let me pick out all the different grays I have. This right here is kind of a bluish gray. This right here is kind of a reddish dark gray. You guys can see how dark that is. I like that color right there. But, you know, I have maroons and grays, and let me see. I got a pure black. I got like a speaker box black. I got this gray. You know, because you never know what colors. Right here's like a green gray. Say I wanted, you know, I was going to do a green car but black interior. You know, you just never know what colors you can do. I got like a reddish black. Say I was going to paint the car red but with black interior. You know, you can use this kind. I made a mustard black. Almost like a yellow brown, but it's basically black and yellow flocking mixed together. And then, you know, you got a really, really light gray or tan, you know, depending upon the color of your body. So if I was going to keep this car black and silver, here's what I would do. I would probably go with this gray here. And I'll put all this stuff back. And then what I do is I usually have me an old TV dinner tray or something. I found my mixing cup. Usually I have an old TV dinner tray feeding the kids or whatnot. And then usually it's cleaner than this. Let me get this. Because you don't want to mix your flocking up. So you just take a towel, you clean your tray out. And the reason why you want to do this over a tray is because you don't want, you know, flocking all over your desk, and you want to be able to save this because it doesn't take very much to do the flocking. So we're going to do that. We're going to do this. Hey, John, thanks for joining us this afternoon. I was just telling everybody to go to Scaled World. They can see your build. They can see other builds and stuff like that. I have taken up a process with Skilled World, and they're going to start bringing you guys some kit reviews just to get you guys some knowledge of what's in the kit boxes. Right now we've done several. I know the newest one is the Chip Foost. Some of the guys don't believe that it's a brand new tooling, so we got over there and we showed them. But today we're going to do the flocking. So I've chosen this color. Here's the interior tub we're going to use. Now here's the mixing cup, just a regular mixing cup. Yes, like Skilled World just posted. It is for everyone, from a beginner to the all-out showist. Like, if you guys ain't subbed to Hunter Selby, go over there and check him out. I build excited. I build off-the-wall stuff. A lot of custom stuff. Like you see this. You can see I'm working on Mike Boland's 63 Ford. I'm making a custom hood for him. Hunter takes it to another level. He is so precise. He's so to the point. He fixes more stuff. He puts more work into fixing a kit than I do on customizing it. And then when he goes to do his detailing and building and what have you, it's just loads and loads of detail and stuff. And all the way up to somebody that pulled out a kit, painted it, and then it gets featured too. But you guys got to be clear. You have to be clear when you send a good picture, good description, so that way Pedro and them can get everything right. Make sure your name's spelled right. Make sure you tell them the kit, if you've done aftermarket stuff, and what have you. Make sure he's pretty well informed. Alright, so let's get back to this. I take this. I just take a little bit of glue. Like I said, I like to use the white glue. Make sure it's open. Alright. I like to use the white glue. Then I just squirt some in there. It's a little stuck. I need a toothpick. You do need an old brush. I should say that's another tool that you need is an old brush. So that way you can spread this around with the brush. You don't need a whole lot. My tip is clogged. What this is. Yeah. Alright. Alright. So you just want a little bit of glue. And I usually keep a thing of water with me. I use distilled water. I buy it by the gallon, but then I put it in this little thing right here. And then I just put a little bit of water in it. And that right there, you just want to liquefy it a little bit. Like literally just a little bit of water. You don't need a whole lot. And then I take the brush. I like to use these Testors brushes. You can buy a 3-pack for like $2. And I just mix the glue up like this. And then basically what I do is I mix the glue and water up like this. And basically like so. So then what I do is I do it in sections because you don't want the glue to dry. So what I do is I come in here like this, and I try to be as clean as I can. Sometimes it gets on the seat, but once it all dries, it'll be alright. And you can see the door, how it got on the door card right there. I choose not to use a better brush than these, because these right here are like a plastic bristle. They're easier to clean off. I could use a smaller brush and keep it clean, but once this glue dries, you could peel the flocking off. So basically what I do is I'll do it like this. Instead of trying to coat the whole floor, I do it like this. And then I take the flocking, I put it, just take a little bit like so. You know, not very much, just a little bit. Here's still the rest of the bag. And then you can go over it like this. You just shake it. You can just shake it. And you want to get a nice even coverage. See how covered that is? And then what I like to do is I like to take my thumb down and I push down with my thumb. You know, kind of like pat it down. And once you think you have it all patted down, I turn it over. I usually take my hobby knife or something with a little bit of weight to it. Usually take my hobby knife. I click it back off like this. Turn it around and there's your flocking. Like that. Letting the glue get the wet. Putting water into glue thins it out. It still leaves it sticky, but see, instead of having it clump, see how nice and even the flocking is? And it takes all the form that you have. And then once you get your seat and everything back in there, now that's the way I do it. You can go in there. I'm going to show you, and this is why you use the tray. You know what I mean? Because now you go back in there, and then what I usually do is, see like that? You get all that back. That's not wasted. You just put it all back in there, and there's your step for the next one. Now I'm going to show you another way that these guys are doing it too. But this is the way I do it with the glue. I have everything painted first. And then I do it with the glue. You can take your black. I gotta find my black. You can take your black paint if you want. Mix this up. You can take your black paint if you have black paint. And I'm going to put my black paint right on the floor. I just put a little bit right there. You guys can see that? And my regular paintbrush. But this right here is messier. You can't clean up. You have to be more precise with the black. You have to be a lot cleaner with the black than you would with the clear glue. Because with it being paint, it's the way it sticks to everything. And you can do it with the color close to your flocking. You don't have near as much time to work with this either. when you do it with the paint. But you can do it with the paint. And you do the same process. And then you can go back over it. And then go back in there. Do the pushing. And then there you go. But see how it darkens it up when you do it with the paint? It's because the fiber is actually absorbing the paint. It don't cover as well as the glue. That's why I usually do all the painting first, and then use the clear glue, the white glue or the clear glue, because they're both going to dry clear. It's just it's your opinion on what you want to go over with. Do you guys see that? Yeah, you can get your glue at Walmart, Jay. Hobby Lobby sells it too. You got to remember, if you guys go to Hobby Lobby, they have an online app where you can get 40% off one item. So that right there would help you save money too if you went to Hobby Lobby to get it, you know. But I'm trying to let this guys dry on the camera for us while I'm just sitting here. You'll see, this is why I like the clear glue versus painting it and flocking it, because of, you see, you're not getting the best color because your flocking actually is absorbing the paint to adhere, when here it's absorbing the glue, you know. And then, let's see what else we have. Well, you can use a school glue. It does not have to be the tacky glue. It could be any Elmer's glues. This right here was just a cheap school glue from a cargo lot place that we have here. You know, just a white glue. I wouldn't use Tester's glue or, you know, anything like that. Yeah, the black paint I just put down, Mooger, is Vallejo, and it is acrylic. You can use it, but like I said, I prefer the white glue over a paint, because you can see the, I don't know if my camera's picking up, but you can see the color distortion. This is the paint and this is the glue side. And the reason being is because when this dries, it's always going to dry clear, and you're on top of paint. This here is drying the color of the paint, and this is on top of paint. So basically, it's absorbing the paint. And then, you know, you put the seat in there, and then you put the seat on the other side. Try to get you guys a and you see, I know it's just the floor, but can you see the color distortion? That's why I much prefer the clear glue over the paint. Let's see, I'm gonna go back through here. You got Jody Blackwell. You got Dogs Model Shop. You got Mooger 31. You got Jody Blackwell. Jody, your big Camaro came out looking good. I like that orange. You got Hinterland Custom. You got Augustine. What's my favorite car? My favorite car in the world would be the 66 and 67 Fairlane. As if I was going to build a hot rod or a classic, would be the Fairlane. If I was to build like a pro mod car, pro touring style car, I always thought a Maverick would be really cool. My favorite car to be a lowrider is a 69 Impala. And I just love those cars. He asked what should he does if he poops at his pants. I would suggest maybe an adult diaper. They have some of those lady pads for the ladies who have a bad uterus after a couple babies. You might check that out. Scale World is here. Jay's Mini Garage. And Jay's another viewer, follower, that is willing to learn, guys. He asks a lot of questions. He's very motivated in taking his hobby further, with our guys' help in the community. I'm not the only one here that can help. You guys can come on and help. You know, if you guys have a knowledge of anything. I know it's my live show, but you guys are more than welcome in the comments to share ideas and tips with each other. That's how the community grows, and that's how our builders get better. DJ is in the house. How you been, DJ? I mean, DMG. I said... Now, if you guys ain't subscribed, I know I mentioned Hunter a minute ago. His last video, I use my phone as well, Jeff. The last video that Hunter put up, well, not the last video, but he put up a few videos last week, and he'd made the comment, like you guys seen, Augustine in the middle of the comments making some non-model related comments. You could take it upon yourself to ignore people like that, or you can get upset about it. Hunter had mentioned somebody trying to correct not just his speech, but others in the community, and I'm guilty of short saying names and short saying words or saying other words. So it's pretty good to have somebody like that stand up and bring it attention that we're not all scientists. Chevy Cheeseburger is with us this afternoon. You guys need to check out the Chevy Cheeseburger Extreme Pit Stop Show. Every Friday at about 1 o'clock. He'll get on there for about an hour. They show products that they are selling on Extreme Scale Detail, which is some great products. They are fastly becoming a one-stop shop for many modelers. So get over there. They're constantly stocking their stores with some good stuff. And like I said, Lisa and Chip, if you guys enjoy the Pro Tech, I really enjoy the Pro Tech stuff a lot better than the Model Car Garage or Detail Master. It's a personal choice of mine. They stock all three, but I love the way the wiring and the braided lines are, and they have a whole array of them. And then yes, Jay, they're really good people. I need help with a wood color on my 49 Mercury Woody. Does anyone know of a video? DG, there is some great videos. I had a book that I built over the years. Guys, I'm gonna move some stuff right here. About choked myself with my apron. Oh, I spilt the glue. Ah. Alright, I built this book years ago. I used to subscribe to Scale Auto and a few other model magazines. And I made this years ago, and it's my model tip book. And I'm going to walk you guys through this real quick. Who is it? Rick Zink. Our buddy Rick Zink out here in the community. He always does something old. I think that's the name of his series, and what he does is he takes stuff from his past and he shares, you know, whether it be an old kit, an old advertisement, or old book. But inside here, this is what I would do, and I used to use this book here to do my builds. You know, I would highlight stuff for the contest I would go to, like this one here, the out of box. Like the modified out of box and the out of box. Let me get this to where we can read it. It would say, now this is the show that I would attend. Most other shows have their own ways of doing stuff. And, you know, I just highlighted, I highlighted some stuff so I could, knew to follow the rules. It said entry must be exclusively from the kit supplied parts, no part swapping or aftermarket parts. And the other parts that I highlighted was it has to have the kit instruction, and the instructions must be displayed with the entry. And then I highlighted that I could use foil and flocking from any source are allowed, you know. Then I would highlight the classes that I like to show in, the out of box, the modified out of box, the full custom, the lowrider class, the foreign class, and the curbside class is usually what I like to do back then. You guys can see I took this picture here and I blowed it up, and it's over here on the left side of me, on the side of my desk, just because back in the day I was learning how to, you know, better detail my stuff, so I found this. This right here was a tip in the magazine where they rolled the wire up. They took, like, you know, your spark plug wire, they rolled it up, they covered it with craft glue or Elmer's glue, let it get hard, and then they painted it black, and then they can bend it. Back in the day, some of the old school, like you can see, this is an old Ford motor. The old school radiator hoses had a metal spring all the way through it. So if you was going to build a factory stock, you know, you'd want that look. You wouldn't want just a plain hose. And this right here is just, I would pick up, I would just pick up different things from the magazine and clip stuff from the magazine. Using your Dremel 4 lathe, you know, making your own parts, using solder. I showed you guys the googly eye trick where I take the molded out headlights, drill those out, and then I put the buggy eyes in there. You know, I got drawers full of the bug eyes, so that way I can, you know, switch out the molded in stuff. You know, how to sand a tire, make a tire look damaged. Here's what they're, you know, showed a little bit about wrinkling, wrinkling your paint, doing your door jambs, you know, how you would wash your door jambs, just all different kinds of stuff, using beaded wire for your brake lines and whatnot, you know. So there's tons and tons of different tips out there. You know, the low buck tip. But he asked about the wood painting. Here's a different setup for, you know, doing your front ends for your ride heights and stuff like that. Here's their tutorial on doing the flocking. You know, this is just stuff I picked up. One was this, February of 1999. You know, casting your own parts using aluminum foil, you know, stuff like that. How to make a paint stand. Here's paint stands made out of wood. I use foam blocks, you know. Showed you how to make vinyl top, A&N fittings, you know, stuff like that. The dent, how I did the damaged fender. And it's right here. We'll show you guys how to do the dent in the door, you know, just stuff I picked up. But if you can find D&G, if you can find the Model Cars magazine from January, February of 2000. It shows you the way this guy would make his wood panelings and what paints he used, you know. This right here will show you how he did it, which different colors he used, and it's a pretty nice step thing that I saved for me. Trying to get it to not white out. Maybe I turn this big light off, you know, and then you can see the article and everything. It's by Clyde Alexander, and if you guys haven't heard of Clyde Alexander, he's a very nice modeler, builds some very nice classic looking stuff. You would almost be able to turn the key and drive these. Clyde has been a big part of the hobby over the years. He does a lot for the model car magazines, just like Tom Kern and, you know, some of these other guys. So it's a great article, and if you can find it, D&G, it is Model Car here. It's Model Cars magazine from January, February of 2000. Yeah. And then throughout my book is just other, you know, just other different things, how to polish windshields and fix the windshields. Here's one I always saved, guys. And this is something, too, that Extreme can help you guys with. You want to learn your gauges of the wire. Ooh, wow. You want to learn your gauges of the wires and stuff. I really enjoy using the 30 gauge wire is what I use for my spark plugs and stuff. Between 30 and 32 is most realistic for your ignition wire. The 28 would be more adaptable for your like battery cables and stuff like that. And then your higher numbers over here, those would be like heater hoses, different style radiator hoses. A lot of this stuff up here is so, you know, it's so big, it's going to be so out of scale. And 40 and 38 and 40 is going to be so small. You'd want that for like, if you're building a race car or stock car, you know, your gauges and stuff that's going to be showing out of the back of the gauges, or, you know, through your firewall and whatnot. You guys go to Little Joe, a Back Bay Scale Customs, and CT. When they built their Chevelle, and when Little Joe built, damn it, I can't think of what it is. I think it's the one he built with, or he built for Fast Jimmy. You can see the little wires that Joe chooses to detail with. He sands off his firewall, and then instead of painting the details back on, he uses the wire. He uses the small wires, and it makes such a great bigger detail. So right there, you know, little tips like that is what I've saved to help me. How to do the ghost flames. Stuff right here. Now this right here is, a lot of people just open up the bare metal foil and they chuck it. They don't read the instructions. I saved the instructions to help me, you know, to get better, because I wanted to learn, you know, painting. Let me see if I can't shrink this down one more time. I don't know what the heck the deal is. There it goes. You know, how to fade the flames, and, you know, and it shows you the steps on what they would do to do it, you know. And then I felt this right here was pretty cool. Hunter had did a thing on it. Hunter did a thing on it too, maybe a year and a half ago. It's just something that I picked up for myself. It's something that they gave us to kind of like look at when you did your judging, and, you know, for the show that I attend to. So I saved it. It looked cool with me. But that's another thing, like I was saying about the scaleworld.net. Tell them what the car is. List what you've done to it. List what you've added into it. You know what I mean? And you got to, and be clear with what what you're doing. And like I've always said, another thing is always make sure, you know, your stuff is good and clean. Shows you, I got a page, shows you how to clean resin. Another different work stand, you know, modeling stand. The purpose of this one is, if you read the article, it serves two purposes, this paint stand here, because right here you can paint it, and like most people have a problem, you can't really reach underneath all this stuff. So they made to where you can pivot. You can paint the underneath, and then plus it don't let dust fall into your paint. See right here, if you had this sitting here to cure, the dust can fall on it. But once it's upside down, it falls in on the inside. And it just shows other stuff, how to make flip doors and bed liners, add in your small parts, and then this right here is firing orders, you know, depending upon how far you wanted to go into your detailing. And this is just stuff that I picked up to help myself. At one point, I wanted to build a Mini Dreams garage, so I was saving stuff to do, like the diodes, a tire machine, a brake lathe, you know, just, you guys pick you up a book like this and just start building you some stuff, you know, just to save you some tips, and, you know, that way you guys can find a way to do stuff. Stuff for the hydraulics, to make my hydraulics and lowriders look better, how I'd run the cylinders, and, you know, how the pumps and stuff are set up. I got a few videos up of this right here, back in my archives, you know, just, you know, just a whole book of how you do, just little tips and stuff to have. You want me to, I could ship it to you, Pedro. Jay, I don't know, man. I'm still fighting it, buddy. Jay's asking how I was doing on the headlights. I don't know, guys. I'm cutting it close. The show is next week. I had planned this already being in primer already. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. And the only thing I have planned tomorrow is the IMS live show, just to sit down here and watch those guys as I get to work on it. So I'll look. What I'm planning on doing, Jay, is I think I can sand down just this bubble right here that they put in there for the headlight. I think I can sand that down just enough to get the factory lens in there. But my dumb butt glued these in already because I didn't want to try to glue them in after the fact and them not be even. So we'll have to check that out. But everything else is done, ready to paint. I'm gonna read some of your guys' comments right now, if you guys don't mind. And here, after this is all dry, now it's all dry. You can touch all this now, and I still prefer, even after everything's dry, I always still prefer the glue. Easier to clean up if you went up on the panel too far or up the seats too far. You know, you can always take a little toothpick, and then you can come back in here and you can remove it. You know, you can clean it up because the glue is going to peel. The white glue will peel. And the paint won't. You'll have to remove the paint to remove the flocking. So let's see. Yeah, they're super, super thick. Yeah, sorry, Jamie. Jimmy said it's like a Bible for car makers. That's fun.
do have young children, which is a concern. They have a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a
Looking through here,
5-year-old.
yes.
I am really concerned. Twinkle is a high stimulation cat.
Yeah, guys, Jody posts a lot of his builds on my Mr. Mini Greens page. So you can go over there. If you have a problem finding Jody, you can go to the Mr. Mini Greens page. And
This is my last shot.
he'll be able to go over there. And then you guys can follow him and sub him.
Be a great thing.
If we're ready to go, let's pack Twinkle up and get on the road.
Let's do it.
Twinkle is a victim of circumstance right now. He is a high-energy, 1-year-old cat cooped up in
The reason why, Jeff, the reason why I use distilled water better than tap is because I can buy it in a gallon for $1, you know, and then I just keep it down here under the desk. I just put it towards that little bottle so it's easier to use. I actually have distilled water and an eyedropper to help thin my Vallejo paints when I needed them a little bit thinner. Say I'm detailing something small like this, the thicker paint would take away from the detail, so I'll put on more coats of a thinned paint versus trying to get it to cover once.
Remember, ownership of territory gives cats their mojo. The stuff symbolizes ownership of territory. All right. Let's do it. Tell me what your fears are today.
Fears are that he can be so overly excited and rambunctious that he acts out on one of the kids.
Now, when Jay made the comment in there is alternatives to flocking. You can use embossing, I forgot what it's called, like an embossing powder. Now, it's a little rougher than flocking, but you can put it down and you can paint over it. You could, if you say you bought a whole lot of flocking, you can paint over this too, but you kind of lose some of the carpet look, but you don't lose the texture, so it's still going to look like carpet to the eye, but you won't be able to feel it. It's right here you can actually feel it. There's a sticky back suede that you can buy too, but it's so thick sometimes that it will take away the details that are in the floor. And then
Right now is that Twinkle only redirects his aggression on humans when there are other cats present.
yeah.
We pull up, and before we even get in the door, I hear children. And I hear children at like volume 11. You hear kids too? And I am more nervous than I have ever been before. Ready? Let's do this.
Guys, I'm just reading through some stuff in there.
Even get in the door, I hear children. And I hear children at like volume 11. You hear kids too? And I am more nervous than I have ever been before.
So we answered DG's about the wood. People commenting.
So, I've never had a cat before. I've had dogs in the past. My wife and kids wanted a cat, so you see how it goes?
Dog has asked about doing the molding and casting tutorial. Dog, look through some of my older videos. For some reason, video 1 disappeared. And I don't know where it went. And I'm sorry, I don't know how to get it back. But I do have a few videos up already. I will do another one. I can do another one. It's just at this point right now, I have to go get the product and supplies. You can get flocking now. I believe Extreme Scale Detail stocks Ken's Fuzzy Fur. You can go over there and check that out. It's basically the same stuff. Now, I got mine from a guy that used to do it only at swap meets, but you can get the flocking. You can get the flocking from Extreme. It's going to be under the Ken's Fuzzy Fur. I believe Detail Master sells some too. I don't know if Lisa and them stock So you have to go over there to Extreme and check out what they have. And they ship. They have a flat $5 rate of shipping on their small boxes, and then they'll have a larger box depending upon how much you purchase. So that's up to you. Like I suggested to John and some of the guys that live in Canada, Chip and Lisa's flat rate to Canada is different than my flat rate here to the U.S. So it would be sensible to purchase more at once than to pay that flat rate shipping 3 or 4 different times and not get what you guys need.
Meet somebody.
Wait a minute, I got stuff to do. Hold on. Okay, wait.
John said he knows where I hid video number 1 at. I will tell you this, guys. It goes a long way. I flocked this whole floor just with the pinch of the flocking. Here it is, still in the tray. I'll get it all out of the tray for you. And just out of that pinch, I don't even know where the bag went now. I just had the baggie out. Here's the baggie. Here's all that. Then usually what I do is I'll take an index card. And then right there. So it's like, you never even use a whole lot if you do it right. It don't have to be super thick. And then there it is. It's back in the bag like you can't even tell that I've used any. And then once you break it all up, you got a full bag again. Yeah, is it flocking or is it embossing? Is it embossing powders? Now, for me, guys, I've never used the embossing powders, so I can't speak for those. I've always been a believer of the flocking, and like I told you guys before, I always been a believer of bare metal foil versus silver paint. But ever since the Molotow fad has hit, we can now get these at Hobby Lobby. You can't get the 30-ounce refills at Hobby Lobby, but you could tell somebody tried to paint that door handle right there and right there. But now I always prime them every time you use them. But now I'm gonna get my spectacles on. But see, now you just added the chrome to it. You're going to get a lot better details. This is worth $11 versus $8 for bare metal foil and it not come out the way you want it to. Then, you can trim your door panels. You can add, you can just start adding details left and right with this pen and make everything a lot. Oop. you know. So it'll enhance a load of stuff for you guys.
13-year-old feral cat that I rescued a year ago. Frankie stays in the closet because he's afraid of everybody. These cats start destroying everything. He just urinated under the bed. She hates cats.
Yeah, I tried to, John. I'll try to.
He's not like he's possessed. It's like an exorcism. My daughter lost her sense of reality. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
So Jay says it is flocking, comes in a jar. So maybe I'll take a trip to trip to Hobby Lobby in a few weeks with my phone and try to get you guys some pictures of the product, so that way you guys have a name to look for when you go there. Jay's saying he need just start, like you can see sometimes on eBay, guys, a few sites on Facebook that have sell groups where these guys are selling old magazines. I have stacks and stacks of old magazines that I picked up for $1 or $2 or something like that. Check them out, and you guys can build books like this. And what's great now is you got places online where we could view the magazine, and maybe you guys can save and copy the picture from the magazine. Let's see what else we have on here. Yeah, is Elijah at school then, and just Ethan home, John? Yeah, there is a lot of J's in the community. Now, I don't know if Jason Boomer is watching right now. But I've been trying to talk with him and help him out with the project that he's having. So, Elijah, hi Ethan. Just reading some of the comments here. Now, what Jason Boomer has been asking me, he wanted some help on working with some resin stuff. I will be right back. I'm going to show you guys some stuff that I have. Alright, so I don't know if Jason Boomer is with us today, but maybe he'll catch this video. What I have here is a bunch of Dodge Ram parts, a bunch of Dodge Ram stuff. And then I have this Dodge Ram body from Jimmy Flintstone. Here is the resin Jimmy Flintstone Dodge Ram body. Now, he has picked up a resin HHR, and I was trying to show him that it's best to use. See, they give us these vacuum form windows for the build. But I was showing him, I was trying to explain to him it's best to use as much kit plastic as you can, because it's going to be stronger. You're going to get a better fit. You know, it'll be stronger you'll get a better fitting part, because once I start cleaning this up to build, I'm not going to use nothing else but this resin body. I'll make all the back part here and the seats, you know, I'll make all that. Get the interior, this right here. I just picked up a bunch of different parts for this build. Yeah, here's the interior bucket. It's a little rough, but that's what's great about parts kits. So once I get that, I'll use a kit interior instead of the resin bucket, because you get such a better fit. You're gonna get such a better looking fit. And then I get all that put in. Got to get the chassis all welded up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make, let me get the wheels for it. We're going to be putting some big old daddies on it. And it's going to be full of stereo stuff. Just going to be a huge roller. It'll be see if I can't. Might have it, I don't know if, it just don't look right squatting, but you know, we're going to do something, you know, like, I don't know if you guys are into the car show scene, but there's a club called Swift, and they have a lot of bigger trucks all done up, and we're going to do something like that with this one. But it's another one of those projects that are, you know, slowly coming together. So, you know, there's all kinds of stuff. But yeah, when you're dealing with resin, maybe that was something we could do later on down the line. Show prepping and thinning of a resin. Today was meant for Pedro at Scaled World, so he can get some knowledge behind what he was facing. So thank you guys all for joining. That was a fast hour, man. I didn't know it was already been an hour. I got some family matters to attend to today. Yesterday we got hit with the van needing some repairs, so we got to play catch up around here to get some other stuff handled, you know, summer school and whatnot. And so hope you guys enjoyed today. Guys, please feel free, you guys are always welcome to suggest a tip or how to or something. Just let me know, and I'm willing to be there for you guys and try to help out as much as possible. Again, don't forget Extreme Scale Detail for your auto parts, for your modeling parts, right there. Don't forget Ultimate Modeling Products, would be good for model model building supplies and stuff. Here to be your best aftermarket, your best tools for the hobby, and this is just my opinion. And scaledworld.net, don't forget to go check them out, get some building inspiration going on. You can see more stuff that I've done, more stuff that Gap Hill Speed Shop have done. You'll have products over there from Vision 124 and a lot of other great modelers throughout the community. So with that being said, I hope your guys' first day of June is fun. You guys are all get decent weather. And this is Minnie, and I'm out. You guys have a good one.